Yes, sir.
Okay, so we are starting. Transfer orbits into or more force field as per instruction letter. I don't know from where this line has appeared. Till now, whatever we have done, so say if this is the Earth, so we have done all the trajectory transfer about the same force field. That simply implies that about the same planet. So here in this case, this is Earth, and one satellite is moving here in this orbit, so we are changing the orbit of this satellite. So this is only just a one force field. If we have multiple force fields, just like in the case of say the Earth mass system, so then how to do that? So for that we have seen that this can be carried out using the moment transfer, going from one planet to another planet. So in that what we have done that this we assume to be Sun, and then around this we have different orbits, and then from inner orbit to the outer orbit you are going like this, or from outer to the inner. Okay, you are going this way. So here in this case, what you assume that this is again the one force field model. Because here you are assuming Sun to be the only primary body, and then some satellite is moving in the orbit, and then it's being moved from one place to other place. So while working this problem, we have not assumed that there is a heavenly body gravitational field also exists. So if a satellite is moving around this heavenly body, so to escape of this heavenly body, it requires certain amount of energy. Without that, it will not happen. So this we did not assume. So simply we applied human transfer, assuming that the there is a planet or asteroid, whatever, and whatever the speed it's moving. So from going from the satellite going from this place to this place, how much impulse is required. So it was a very simple problem, but it will help in doing solving this problem. Okay, so how to do that?
Sir,
Mhm.
sir, I have a doubt. Sir, like if we consider two or more force field, then can we always say that central force motion will be there because at certain time it may be such that both are having both the force fields are having an influence on the satellite or
Yes, sir. So for that we define the sphere of influence. And the sphere of influence, this is given by R equal to m by m to the power 2 by 5 and times R, let us mark this as say sun to planet distance. And this is R planet or RSOI, SOI of the planet. The radius of the sphere of influence of the planet, let's say given by this relation, where let us say this is the Earth and this is the Sun. So for the Sun Earth system, this will be given like, let me write here, SOI plus P. Radius of influence of Earth or any planet, mass of Earth, and image is the mass of Sun, and RSP is the Sun to planet distance. Here in this case, this is RSP slash RSC, Sun to Earth slash planet distance. So if you are here the mass of the whatever the Earth is there and then the Sun. So using this relation and RSP is around in the case of the Sun 15 crore kilometers, 10 to the power 7 kilometers. So radius of the sphere of influence it will be given by this relationship. So by putting the mass of the Earth and mass of the Sun, this can be solved. So what does it imply? It implies that if the Sun is here, so till this point, this is a sphere of influence. Till this point, if you assume that if any satellite is moving within this range, so you can assume that it is moving in just one about one planet or one center of attraction. Similarly, for the Sun, you will get the sphere of influence. Now, if it goes out of this, then the Sun attraction becomes important. So at that time, then you cannot assume that uh, this is just a one body problem. So it's not moving about the Earth, rather say it's moving about the Sun. So as soon as it crosses this sphere of influence, that means the gravity due to the Earth is almost big, so that the motion can be assumed to be about the Sun. So this simplifies the problem, and rest other things in the actual simulation, it's all done numerically, so very precisely done. Because once the say the satellite is living here in this place, it's moving around the orbit here, and it's just 1 minute, the link is over. Okay, so once the satellite leaves the sphere of influence, then you can assume that it's moving about the Sun. So let us assume that the satellite goes in a hyperbolic orbit. It is moving in this, and then it is it is sent in a hyperbolic orbit and leaves the sphere of influence. We will assume an inner orbit. So this is the inner orbit. So from inner orbit, then you are thrusting it, and then it's a leaving the sphere of influence somewhere. So at this point, it's a moving about this direction. This is the velocity direction. So now after this, you can assume this to be moving around the Sun. So you are assuming just one center of attraction and then solving this problem, and therefore this is called the patched conic section method, because you are patching different conic section. First you are taking the conic section about the earth, okay. Then you are taking the conic section about the sun and then solving the problem. And while you implement for the practical purpose, so at that time whatever the trajectory is there, so this trajectory will get affected because the satellite will be moving for years. Okay, so it's not a short duration. So during that perturbation in the trajectory due to other planetary system will be present. So therefore, while numerically integrating, we will also account for the distance of other planets from the satellite, including Sun. Okay, so that gives you the real result. So what happens to the trajectory of the satellite. Here in this case, if you do little bit of error here in this place, okay. So instead of satellite velocity being here in this direction or it's a magnitude changing, so the destination where you are going, so that will totally get affected. A lot of error, millions of kilometer error may get produced. So this has to be, this is a very precise job and it's done numerically. But the planning right in the beginning is done using the patched conic section method. So in the case of the Earth-Mars system, so this is the Sun here, and the Earth is here, and Mars is here. So each of them is having its own orbit around the Sun, and the satellite needs to be sent from the Earth to the Sun, Earth to the Mars. But leaving the Earth, it requires that the escape velocity should be given. It will automatically not happen. In the case of the human transfer, we just assume that you give the necessary impulse here, assuming that it's moving around the sun. So whatever the impulse is required, you give it here, and then use this equation b equal to mu times 2 by r minus 1 by a under root, and v circular is just mu by r under root. So it's moving in circular orbit. Initially, what you are assuming that it is having certain velocity in the orbit where it's situated, and then you have calculated in the Hohmann transfer by subtracting these two to get the impulse. But in the case of the interplanetary, what we did, this is the Earth here. So Earth is having certain angular velocity. That means it is having certain velocity, the linear velocity, or rather say just velocity, because here it's changing, the direction is changing. So here the Earth speed will be taken if you are solving the problem normally, and then we will be calculating this path up to this point. So how much impulse is required? So to be in this transfer orbit, okay. So if this is 80 and the distance from this point to this point, you know, this is as we have done in the asteroid problem. So where we have neglected the gravitational effect. So similarly, you are neglecting the gravitational effect. And if this distance is say r0 from Sun to this place, so the velocity in the elliptical orbit, this will be 2 by r0, 1 by 80, where 80 is the transfer orbit radius. So in that case, you are not taking into account this particular factor. What you are taking into account, that the satellite is nothing but the asteroid itself. Okay, it's situated on the asteroid, but the asteroid is having its gravitational effect very minimal, so that whatever the asteroid velocity is there, the v asteroid equal to v satellite you will assume, and then this is mu by r0 under root. So this is the expression, and then you will subtract this v minus va to get how much this impulse is required. So this is what exactly we have done, but it's a very simplified picture. In reality, the satellite has to break this gravitational field of the Earth, and for doing that, minimum thing required is that parabolic velocity should be given v equal to 2 gr under root to lift the surface of the earth. Without that, nothing will happen. It will not escape the gravitational field of the earth. So here we have to account for the gravitational field of the earth. Then you have to account for the Mars also. So once it reaches the Mars, then how to capture it in that place. So all these things, it comes under the mission planning. Yeah, this is called the mission planning. So this part we will be doing here in this particular topic. I hope you are getting.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us start now. Okay, for the convenience purpose, we assume this is the Earth, the center, and a satellite has already been launched and put in the parking orbit. So this is the parking orbit, generally circular, but not necessarily. This is parking orbit. So if we provide an impulse here in this place, and say this is the perigee position if it is elliptical orbit, so if the proper impulse is provided, so it will escape from the gravity of the Earth. And while it escapes, this is the asymptote. This angle, let us write it as psi. This distance we write as rho 0, and this is V circular. This is just for convenience. We are assuming that this is circular one. Circular orbit. Radius rho 0. Escape velocity. The hyperbolic velocity. At t. This point, let us write this as Q. So this may be the periapsis where you are firing it. So these are the two asymptotes which goes and cuts here in this place. So this is the intersection point. So, and this will decide, the two asymptotes will decide where the periapsis of the transfer orbit will lie. So wherever they intersect and line joining the center of the earth here in this case, that constitutes the point Q. And finally, let us say this is the velocity v here in this direction. Okay, that must be. So we can write using the, so first we are considering Earth as the center of attraction. And then we solve this problem. So 1 by 2 Vp square, this is the velocity at the perigee point, minus mu Earth by rho 0.
Sir, you are using the lasso tool.
What has the so whatever the velocity at the perigee point is there, so Vp we are written here, the conservation of the total energy we are considering here. So here V infinity is nothing but V. That means, let us say this is the sphere of influence, this is Earth, and the sphere of influence is here, this is the parking orbit, and from here then you fire, and then it's a crossing this way. So at this point then you take a tangent or asymptote, whatever you say. Basically it's a asymptote here in this case, because the distance becomes large as compared to the actual orbit. So therefore we can indicate the velocity as v equal to v infinity. This is the thing written here, and rho is the distance from center of Earth to distance. So this is sphere of influence. Now this quantity is known. This quantity is known. This is known, the parking orbit radius, and this is also known. This is the radius of SOL. V infinity, how it is known? This is known from Hohmann transfer. In the Hohmann transfer, what we have done, we have assumed Sun to be here, and then this is the Earth, and this is the Mars. So Earth is moving here, so how much impulse is required to go from this place to this place? So that means on the boundary, you must have whatever the velocity is to be given here with respect to the Sun. So what we have indicated here, this v equal to v infinity, this is with respect to the Earth. While here the velocity, while we are considering here, so this we have indicated as v infinity. So this is the v Hohmann transfer velocity, and this is with respect to the Sun. Okay, not with respect to the Earth. So there is a difference between these two. So that means once the satellite is coming at this point, so this is the velocity here, and then the Earth's velocity is also there. So you have the Earth velocity. If, This is the sun here, let us assume, and the earth is located here. So earth velocity is like this. While your vehicle is still living here in this point. So if you see the earth velocity v is there, so this will be imposed on this. The vehicle velocity v infinity is here. This is with respect to the earth, and this is v earth. So both of them will get added, and this is your v resultant. So if this VR is available to you, uh, and from where we are getting from the moment transfer region. This is the VR should be equal to VH, magnitude wise. So if you give this velocity, this is enough. So then it will come to this point. Again, it will give one impulse here, so that it gets into the orbit of the Mars. But again, here the Mars is not a point, but rather it's a big planet, and then about this you have a sphere of influence. So as soon as it enters here, so then it has to be captured. So what we are trying to do, we have a hyperbolic orbit here, and thereafter we are assuming the parabolic orbit. So this becomes a phased conic section. This is a parabolic orbit, and before this we have a hyperbolic orbit here. So these two are added together at this point, and therefore this becomes phased conic section method. Patching of two conic sections. One is hyperbolic and one is elliptical, not parabolic, elliptical related. If we give parabolic, it will escape again. So this elliptical orbit is defined with respect to the sun, while this hyperbolic orbit is defined with respect to the earth. This is also called the excess velocity, hyperbolic velocity. That means once it's the satellite is reaching the sphere of influence, so with respect to the Earth, still it is having this residual excess or residual. If it is exactly zero, okay, that's also a possibility that it becomes exactly zero. So in that case, you will make it v infinity equal to zero. So this is with respect to the Earth. So what will be remaining? It's just the Earth velocity will be remaining there. But to shorten the flight time, it's required that you not only during this course from here to here, if you have hyperbolic orbit, so the duration of this orbit will get reduced, and also if you have the hyperbolic velocity here, so the duration of the total flight will get reduced. Hyperbolic velocity means if you have certain residual velocity here, so the duration of the flight around the sun up to the Mars, it will get reduced. Otherwise, it will be larger. So from therefore, how much this excess velocity you need, this is known to you from your design. So this is v infinity, this is v earth, this is vr, and satellite may not be exactly along the earth velocity once it's escaping the sphere of influence. Therefore, how much this vr is turning out, this becomes important part. Okay, so therefore, the impulse required at the perigee infinity, then it becomes delta Vp equal to Vp minus Vc, where Vp is known from the previous equation. And in that, V infinity is required. Without that, you cannot solve the problem. Where Vp square equal to V infinity square plus 2 mu V, 2 we remove, so 1 by rho 0 minus 1 by rho. And Vc equal to mu by rho 0 under rho. Now this asymptote, because your the sphere of influence is large as compared to the Earth or compared to the arcing orbit, if you see the Earth is around, its radius is 6,400 kilometers, so arcing orbit may be some 300 kilometers. So the parking orbit compared to this, now this becomes 6,700 kilometers, is the radius from here to here. While millions of kilometers will be the sphere of influence for the Earth Sun system. So in that case, your trajectory almost becomes asymptotic. In the hyperbolic trajectory you are taking, while you are reaching the sphere of influence, so it's becoming asymptotic. This is the point, this is the center here. And this is your directrix. So assuming that, then the tan beta, if you remember from the conic section, tan beta equal to that becomes tan psi equal to plus minus b by a. This is the expression for the slope of this. This is your a from distance from here to here, and this is b, and this is the psi angle we have written here. So tan beta equal to tan psi plus minus b by a, where b equal to b square equal to a square times e square minus 1. Also rho 0, this is the r perigee position in the transfer orbit. This is the mu r. Rho 0 from this place, this is L divided by 1 plus E. This is mu E divided by L under root and 1 plus. So Vp star becomes mu E divided by L and 1 plus E whole square. Now the L equal to, we know this is the quantity for the ellipse, we have written as A times 1 minus E square. For the hyperbola, the same quantity will write as A times E square minus 1. So this is E square minus 1. This gets reduced to mu A minus A 1 plus B divided by 1 minus 1 and E minus 1. We write it on the next page where it has not come up. Vp square equal to mu e divided by L times 1 plus p whole square, and therefore Vp square equal to mu e divided by 1 plus p whole square. This is Vp square. This can also be written as Vp square equal to mu e times c plus 1, because a times c minus 1 is nothing but r parity, which is here rho 0. And this quantity then becomes Vc times c plus 1. And therefore from this place we get E equal to Vp by Vc whole square minus. So because V infinity is known, rho 0, rho, these quantities are known. So from there we have calculated Vp, Vc is known, so this is known, and therefore the eccentricity of the transfer orbit becomes known. Becomes known. And then this can be utilized for working out the problem.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, in that expression,
Hmm.
uh, what is h? Like you wrote Vp is equal to h by rho
H is
naught.
the angular momentum per unit mass. This is a standard
Okay,
symbol.
okay, okay, okay,
It's a
got
reserved. Okay.
it. Okay.
In space dynamics, small h is always reserved for the angular momentum per unit mass. Now for moment transfer, this is what we have written for the moment transfer. In the moment transfer, what we have exactly done, this is the sun here, and this is the earth. So at this point, we are providing the impulse. So earth is this, the radius of the earth means this distance, r, from sun to earth distance, not the uh, radius of the earth, not this. This is the orbit of the radius of earth. Orbit, radius of the orbit of earth. Radius of the orbit of. So mu sun divided by re. Here the earth is moving. So this is the initial velocity of the satellite. This is what we assume in the while we are working for the asteroid problem. So whatever the asteroid velocity, this is the available thing. Then at this point, what extra impulse is to be given so that this velocity becomes equivalent to the transfer orbit velocity. So we have to change this velocity. So this is mu sun by r earth, this distance from here to here, minus mu sun by a, which is the orbit of the transfer orbit. Here this is semi-major axis of the transfer orbit. What is so RE is the radius of the orbit of Earth. In the Human transfer, this is exactly what we have done. This is a starting year mu s by RE under root, and then we need to add certain impulse delta V here so that this whole quantity becomes equivalent to this one. So this velocity, remember, this is with respect to the whatever we are showing here, this total velocity mu s by RE under root plus delta V with respect to sun. So in this orbit, this is the velocity in the with respect to the sun in the transfer orbit. Now with this velocity, it will push all along and it will go up to this point. So rather than writing this V infinity, we should write here in little different way, because V infinity is not the right terminology to be used here. But this is what we have done in the moment transfer. So let us make this as, rather than V infinity, we write this as V. So V equal to 2 mu s divided by RE minus mu s by RA under root minus this quantity. So while your satellite is coming out of the sphere of influence, so its velocity is V infinity we have written with respect to the Earth, but what is with respect to the Sun? So with respect to the Sun, your velocity could be this much. This is the quantity required here. So the impulse you are giving here in the parking orbit at this point, you are not giving impulse here. You are giving impulse here in this point, not at this point, not here. Impulse is being given here in this point. So at this point, if you do not want to give any impulse, so the extra velocity must be available here in this point. So V infinity plus V earth, that becomes the velocity if both are exactly parallel. So in that case, this will be V infinity plus V earth, and this will be equal to V. And if this is the velocity V available, so with that velocity, then it's going to push here. So accordingly, then your A will get defined. If your velocity changes, what is required that, see, from the Earth to Mars while you are going, so what is required that we are computing this, the impulse required based on the Earth, assuming this is the Earth's velocity, the satellite is ejecting with Earth's velocity. So Earth's velocity around the Sun is around 30 kilometers per second. So with that velocity, it's ejecting from the Earth. While your satellite is leaving this point, so exactly this will not be the thing. This will be 30 kilometers per second, because your V infinity here is with respect to the Earth. It may be here in this direction, it may be here in this direction, it may be here in this direction. So appropriately, then it has to be added. So 30 kilometers per second and plus, if both are parallel, and then V infinity, let us say this is 10 kilometers per second, the residual velocity. 10 kilometer residual velocity is very high. So it may be suppose 2 kilometers per second. So this becomes 32 kilometers per second. So whatever is you are assuming this for the human transfer, so it's a little larger than this. But still the initial calculation will be done based on this. Why? The reason is very simple. If this is the Earth here, so you are not going exactly from this orbit to this orbit. Rather, you are in parking orbit around the Earth. Okay. And once you are leaving the sphere of influence, so let us say sphere of influence is here and the satellite is leaving at this point. So its a velocity, even if you properly plan, so it is possible that both of them, the Earth's velocity here and the satellite velocity here, both of them become parallel. So this is your V infinity, this is V Earth. So add both of them. So adding both of them, so the satellite is starting from this place. It's not starting exactly at the center of the Earth. So what you are doing here in this calculation. So you have to repeat the calculation for this particular design. Then it will start from this place and it will go all the way and it will it may not come to the Mars at all. It may be passing at a large distance. If this is happening, so this is pre-computed, okay, numerically. Path is checked where it's going. For that, the orbit determination of the satellite is done. So because of this, it may not go here in this place, or either it may happen that it's coming here in this place rather than coming here in this place, or it may happen depending on the velocity. It's a crossing and going here in this place. So if this happens, then you have to make course correction so that it goes in the correct place. And this is the sphere of influence of the Mars. So that it comes here and gets captured here in this point.
Sir, I just have one doubt. Sir,
Hmm.
earlier when you wrote the escape for the escape trajectory, where you wrote the equation half Vp square minus mu earth by rho naught is equal to half V infinity square minus mu earth by rho. Sir,
This
so
one, huh? Yes,
yeah,
this one.
yeah, the first equation. Sir,
Hmm.
so here Vp is the velocity of satellite in the parking orbit with respect to Earth. So we just have to add this Vp with the velocity of Earth, right? Like these two
No, no.
v
If let me go to the another page and explain it. You are not getting the point. This is little iterative graph. This is not a one-shot graph. Once you come to this fine level, so it becomes iterative. The earlier one, the asteroid problem we did, it was very simple. See here in this case, what is happening that you have the Earth here, and around this the parking orbit you have. 300 kilometers, 400 kilometers, 250 kilometers, like this. So on actual scale, it will be very close to the Earth. If this is the Earth surface, so your satellite will appear like this. Satellite orbit, 250 kilometers distance. So this is your parking orbit. Satellite is moving in this orbit, and the velocity in this orbit is mu Earth divided by rho zero under root. This is the V circular. If we assume this to be circular orbit, then you need a velocity which we have written as Vt to cross the sphere of influence with certain velocity. So this is your SOI, and it has to cross at this point. So this is your V infinity here, and this velocity is with respect to Earth. This velocity is also with respect to Earth. So this velocity is necessary to cross the sphere of influence with certain residual velocity, which is written as V infinity here. Got it point?
yes, sir. So like my question was, so
Mm,
like this escape trajectory that you have drawn,
mm.
this is with respect to Earth, and this same is patched with the Hohmann trajectory with respect to Sun.
Ah,
So
so, so in
so
that case, what you are assuming, like here in this case, this is the point here. So in the Hohmann transfer case, we assume that the trajectory is like this. This is the Earth trajectory, isn't it? Around the Sun.
yes, sir.
Okay. So here, this we are assuming this to be the velocity, but this is not possible because the Earth is a finite body. So it's not possible here. And also, it's a having gravitational field. Unlike in the asteroid problem, we did not assume any gravitational field. So the problem got simplified drastically. So here in this case, the Earth is having gravitational field. Therefore, to break the gravitational field of Earth, because already the satellite is moving with V Earth, isn't it? If it is on the Earth surface, so that means it's already moving with V Earth. And if we give here V elliptical minus V circular, so our job is done. This is only delta V required, but this is not happening. Here in this case, first it has to break the sphere of influence, and that is the penalty paid for overcoming the gravitational field of the Earth. So once you break it, so this is the V infinity here, and this with respect to the Earth. Now this is the V Earth velocity, and V Earth is here in this direction, while your V infinity is here. But if you plan properly, that means if you give impulse here, so it may start, suppose if you give impulse here, so it may go and cross the sphere of influence here in this point. So this will be the V infinity in that case. So V infinity plus V Earth, if you add to this the V Earth, so this gets added. But this V infinity will be much lesser than the V Earth. V Earth is already, as I told you, 30 kilometers per second. It's a very huge velocity. It's going around the sun. So 30 kilometers 30 kilometers per second, and in the orbit of the Earth, you get the velocity around 8 kilometers per second. Your satellite is having. So it's a very huge difference.
Okay, sir, got it.
Okay, so here first you give the impulse in this point. So this is your Vp. With this Vp, it will arrive here with V infinity. Okay, but what you require that you just did V Earth here at this point, as per your moment transfer. But you have this extra V infinity. So at least you will provide this uh, V infinity. Suppose this quantity turns out to be 0 here. Okay, so exactly then you have the V Earth while it crosses this sphere of influence. And then with this V Earth, it will push. But V Earth, where it is not at this point. V Earth is at this point. It is far away from the center of the Earth, millions of kilometers away. Okay, and then from here it will start and going around the Mars. So what will happen to the trajectory? It will not go exactly to the Mars with the same V Earth velocity, even if you put V infinity to 0. So that means if you have certain extra velocity, then it will happen that it is away from this, so it will be able to reach the sphere of influence of the Mars. Got the point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we are not making V infinity exactly 0, but we are keeping it some finite value, maybe 2 kilometers per second, 3 kilometers per second, like this. Okay, it all depends on the design. It's not one shot. Now, once you have planned, the first stage was just for the uh, rendezvous problem. What we say that it's a rendezvous problem. How, when your launch window will be there, when you will reach there, how much time of travel will be there. So those are the gross level planning. Thereafter, it comes the original trajectory design. So in the original trajectory design, you have to go like this. So this is not just a one-shot case. Again, here, once you have given this, then you have to propagate the whole orbit and then check where it's going. Okay, so propagation, how you will do? So once you know the position of the satellite, okay, then it's a possible that, and already it's out of the sphere of influence of the Earth. Okay, so it's a possible that the trajectory of the satellite can be described even theoretically, but it's done numerically. In reality, all the things are carried out numerically. So this is very much essential to understand that here the V infinity, this can be even 0, or V infinity can be non-zero also.
Okay, sir.
But if you keep V infinity equal to 0, that means your travel time will be much larger. You will have to give midway correction also, and impulses to ensure that your satellite reaches the Mars. So the first step, the human transfer, it's a good for calculating the what is the V infinity required, or say what is the V required while Here, if we assume the Earth to be absent and just it's a moving point with 30 kilometers per second. So with this velocity, how much impulse is required? This is the in the first step we have got. But in this step, this is no longer valid. With this step, we know that how much time it's going to take to travel. And this step can be utilized for solving our problem of BP, how much the BP is required. The BP is not directly available. If we know this quantity here, so minimum what is required, that this should be VR, which is 30 kilometer per second. This is the minimum thing. So this V infinity you can set to 30 kilometer per second. V infinity square on the left hand side equal to Vp square plus 2 times mu e 1 by rho 0 minus 1 by rho. This is the expression then you will apply. This is 30 square. If you have something more of, eh, sorry, here in this case, V infinity equal to 0 square. This is 0 square. If you are having 2, so this is your 2. Now this quantity, once either if it is 0 or 2, this will be added to 30 plus 2 or 30 plus 0. And then this will be utilized for finding out the moment trajectory. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's a little twisted here, and original planning it's not so easy also. The whole computation has to be done iteratively. So we have tan psi equal to tan beta E already we have got from earlier discussion. This is Vp square by Vp by Vc का whole square minus 1. Vp divided by Vc whole square minus 1. This is your E. So this becomes E square minus 1 under root. So this is the square root of this. So this is the asymptote angle. It depends on Vp and Vc. So the flight path angle, other things you can compute at the sphere of influence. This becomes your flight path angle. So all these things can be computed. This becomes your true anomaly theta, and psi is indicated here. As usual, this is r dot, the radial velocity, divided by r times theta dot. And from there, the last time we know that this quantity can be written as, just before this we have worked with this e cos theta. Cos phi also can be computed, and this is just 1 by cos phi equal to 1 by sec phi. And if you work it out, this will give you, here a equal to rho 0 divided by n minus 1, and r equal to, here the quantity r is nothing but, it is different from the rho 0. This is the rho 0 is the radius of the passing orbit. So whatever I am doing, this is very accurate, and it's really to be used for the professional purpose, means that in the actual implementation you will use it, not the bookish one. Okay, next comes calculating all the angles where it's going, so getting a bigger picture of the problem. So now we get into the actual picture of the system. This is your sun. Here you have Earth. As compared to this, I am showing it by a smaller one. And then you have a parking orbit about this. So this is a parking orbit, let us say. The size I am showing, it's a very big. Sun diameter is around 13 or 14 lakhs kilometer. And the parking orbit will be just 6,400 and plus 300. Parking orbit will be 6,700 kilometers. While the Earth diameter, the Sun diameter is around 13-14 lakhs kilometers. It's a very massive as compared to the Earth. So this is not to the scale. This is your the inertial difference direction. In the earlier days, it was shown by gamma 0. This is for the first point of Aries. So this is the reference line. That means the x direction of the International Celestial Reference Frame you are using here as the reference line. Or crudely saying, this is the ecliptic plane in which the Earth is moving, and this is the equatorial plane of the Earth, mean plane. Okay, so cutting point of that and directed from Sun. So the Sun is located here and Sun to this place. Okay, so this is anyway, we say this is the reference axis. So this direction it will be written as LE. LE is the longitude. All these things are available from astronomical measurement. The distance from this point to this point, this is RE. Now say that we have the sphere of influence here. This is your sphere of influence, and the planning is done such that from the parking orbit, your satellite, it traverses in a hyperbolic orbit like this. So this is the perigee location of the satellite orbit, and then this is your psi. So this is the psi. Figure is not very good. You make yourself a good figure so that the future reference you can take. Here it's a getting shifted. What I have drawn, this line is in the figure it's a coming inside, but actually on the paper I am making it, it's a outside the trajectory. So some shifting takes place. So draw a parallel line to gamma 0. So here we need to draw a parallel line to gamma 0 and we'll show while some other problem. Now all the angles we have to describe. So this is the periapsis line. If you see here, this line and this line, they are parallel to each other. So angle from this place to this place we can describe as LH. Okay, so this is longitude of the periapsis. And let us mark this point as H. So this becomes longitude of the line OH, where O is the point located here. Satellite is here, so we join them with a line from this place, and this is theta. So this becomes true anomaly of the satellite. Theta is the true anomaly.
Sir, just one small note, sir. That longitude for the periaxis is denoted by LR. Actually, that is
LH.
okay, LH.
LH. See, the whole figure is getting distorted, and this is beyond my control.
No, sir, it's okay. I just wanted to clarify.
So here theta angle we are indicating this. So assuming that this is the line of reference. Or simply you can write here theta naught, the angle which locates the satellite from the Earth Sun joining line, rather than writing the true anomaly. So this is your satellite. This figure is a bit complicated in terms of angles. Now this angle from here to here from this place to this place, this total angle is LE. And therefore, this angle becomes LE minus LH. And then this angle will become LE minus LH plus psi. Their psi is shown here. This distance we have taken as rho. Velocity of Earth is shown along this direction. This is the V Earth. So we can show it here parallel to this. This is the V Earth. And the velocity which is asymptotic here, this is V infinity. So resultant of this will be VR. This is VR, resultant of this. Now the angle that the Earth makes with this radius vector here, Earth velocity that makes it. Yes. So Earth velocity, this is given as the V. Okay. So this quantity we can write as phi e. Phi e. Basically, this is the flight path angle of the Earth velocity. If we extend this line on the backward side, this angle is LE minus LH. And true anomaly of the satellite, while it is on the sphere of influence, it will be indicated by this angle. And we write this as F true anomaly with respect to OH. Is the F angle. So therefore, this angle becomes from here to here, this is phi minus O. This whole angle we will assume to be alpha. Okay, now we come to this point. So at this point we draw a horizontal line like this, which is parallel to this one. So then this angle, this becomes psi as from here, psi plus LE minus LH. This is all your geometry. And as your velocity is in this direction, this is the velocity direction. So this angle, and you have to extend it on this side, and this angle. Jar equal. This angle is psi plus LE minus LH. This is your V infinity. So with all this description, and then let us say this angle, we mark this as beta here. So it's possible to work out the direction of the satellite, where it is going, what is its velocity Vr equal to Vr plus in vector notation V infinity. So once all these things are known, of course you require this LE, this LH is required. So this will be available from the measurements or the standard equations to be used for this. There is nothing difficult. All the standard equations are there, and they describe where the sun is located with respect to the sun, where the earth is located, what will be the longitude of the earth. Those equations are already available, and also there are programs for this. So those things are very easy. So once you take to the program, the things become very easy. And especially the JPL ephemeris program, that gives you all the details where the earth is located with respect to the sun, other planets, everything you will get there. So now with this information, we can work out rest of the things very easily. So referring to the previous figure, if you have drawn on the paper, so the vehicle enters around the sun, which is the heliocentric orbit. At the boundary of SOI, the sphere of influence, where the psi quantity already we have calculated. This is tan inverse plus minus dt by dc. Write r equal to r earth plus rho. This is r earth and this is your r vector here, and this is the r earth vector. Rho vector is given here. So r equal to r plus rho where theta is this angle. This is theta. The angle between the RE vector and the R vector. So the first theta then will be given by now look into this thing. This is the distance of the satellite from the sun. This is the distance of the earth from the sun. Rho is this quantity is known. This quantity is known. This is known. The only thing you need to know this R in order to calculate this theta.
Sir, can you once again show the last expression for cos theta?
R square plus RE square minus rho square divided by 2 R times.
Yes, sir. Now it's fine.
Okay, so R is remaining to be worked out. Again, we use this equation. So from here we will get R square equal to RE square plus rho square plus 2 RE dot rho. And RE, the angle between RE and rho is, this is the vector RE, this one is RE vector, and so RE is going here in this direction, and the rho vector is here. So this angle we have taken as, this angle we have not taken, but this angle will be from this place to this place. I do not want to mess up with here much. From this place to this place, this is the angle vector between the RE vector and the rho vector. So if we write this as the angle alpha, so this angle immediately you can see this becomes phi minus alpha. So this is phi minus.
Sir, or we can also take it as F plus LH minus LE, right?
Yes. Phi minus alpha. And alpha is known to us. Right. Oh, sorry. We go to the next step. Cos phi minus alpha, and then the alpha quantity we insert there. Where alpha is the quantity as we see from this place. Alpha equal to phi minus A, LE minus LH. Both of them added together. So alpha is known to us. So therefore, from this place, alpha equal to phi minus A, where F is the true anomaly plus LE minus LH. So F is hyperbolic true anomaly. True anomaly, it's a known. This is known quantity because you will be propagating the orbit of the satellite around the Earth. So from there it will be known. What time it reaches, where it crosses the boundary. So from this expression, your R by RE square, then this becomes 1 plus minus 2 rho by RE times per circle. So from this place you have the quantity R available, and this can be utilized in the previous equation here. So RE, R from the next equation, and R is available, rho is available, and therefore cos theta can be computed. Heliocentric velocity of the vehicle or the satellite. Let us write this as VH. So V earth is in, suppose here in this direction, and this is V infinity. So both of them will get added, and this will get as the VH. So here in this figure, this is your V infinity and this is V earth. So with respect to this, it's a shown. So we should show it the opposite way. V earth and V infinity. This is the opposite way. V earth is shown like this in the vertical direction, and V infinity is shown like this. And therefore V resultant is here in this direction. This angle is beta. So this is the relation available here, and we have to find out what is the quantity beta. So the quantity beta, this is given by
तो रूट सर का एक क्रायोजेनिक चेंबर आया था वो मॉडिफिकेशन के लिए जो है
this is given by d sin gamma plus v plus v cos gamma. Where gamma is the angle phi minus phi plus LV minus. Okay, we go above and see all these angles. Basically, what we are doing that using the parallelogram formed by V infinity and V earth, this part is not visible completely. So this is V infinity and this is V earth. Using this, we have to solve this problem. So all the angles are available to us, and then it's nothing difficult to work out in this problem. This angle already we have seen, this is psi LE minus psi plus LE minus LH, this angle, this particular angle from here to here. I hope it's all visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, so sir, beta is nothing but half of the angle between V earth and V infinity.
Yes, yes, we except using the parallelogram.
Okay, sir.
And then if we look for this angle, the angle from, I'll do it by other color. Angle from this place to this place. If you see that we have drawn this angle here, this angle we have shown as phi e. Okay, this angle is available. Okay, this is your phi e angle. Let me write here. Phi. phi. So this symbol is available to you because the velocity of the Earth with respect to the Sun is available. That's a velocity direction. And therefore this phi angle, this is the flight path angle for the Earth, this part will be available. Not exactly flight path angle, this is flight path angle is taken with respect to the tangent. Simply say this is the phi angle. The phi is available to us because the velocity direction of the Earth is given. So it is available from the JPL developmental ephemeris program. So this angle what I have shown here from this place to this place, this is your phi. So phi minus this quantity, that gives you 2 beta. You can write here 2 beta is equal to phi minus phi plus LD minus L. And this angle is 2 beta. Got the point? 2 beta equal to, and 2 beta is nothing but equal to, you can write this as maybe gamma. This is the angle between the vector v and v infinity. Therefore, what we have written here, gamma equal to phi minus psi plus Le minus Lx, and this is quantity is nothing but 2 beta. Therefore, tan beta is written like this. Using the parallelogram. Just few minutes, paper is over. So this is your vector v, and this is v infinity. Vr, this angle is total 2 beta. Tan beta we are writing as, tan beta means this one. This angle is the gamma. Or whatever way you want to work it out, or either from this side also it can be done. So both ways it's possible. In that case you have to indicate it like this, and v infinity this is the resultant. This is beta angle, and this is 2 beta angle or gamma 2 beta. This is v and v infinity. So using both the figures we can do it. So this distance divided by this distance, so tan beta we have written as ve sin gamma v sin gamma divided by, which is nothing but this part. So this is the vertical part, v sin gamma and then this part v infinity plus v cos omega. So gamma is available to us, and therefore this can be worked out. Okay, one thing we should also remember that this is not necessarily it should be 2 beta, but rather let us write this as simply as gamma. But if one magnitude is like this and another magnitude is like this, so will this angle be equal? So it's not proper to write this way, but rather we should write as beta here and this angle as gamma and then work it out. So unnecessary confusion may get created. So 2 beta, we remove this 2 beta here, simply write this as gamma. Okay, so this way we see that the satellite related all the angles are available to us. So lastly we have the longitude of the vehicle LV. Longitude of the vehicle is the angle from this place to this place. This is LV. So theta is known to us. And so we insert the value of the theta and this will be calculated. Similarly, we have the phi v.
Sir, it's
And
overwriting.
we have LV equal to LU plus theta so figure here also we should remove this part, not to beta, this is simply so the whole thing has got painted here. This will create confusion. So what we discuss on the board, so the same thing is not possible here. So this is the gamma angle shown by the red. And this angle we have shown separately, and the phi angle we have shown by angle from this place. This will be from this place to this place, this is your phi angle. Okay, so beta is the just the half angle, and this is the resultant velocity v resultant. How much this angle is making with the longitude. So, or simply say with respect to the, because the phi this is not the longitude, we are measuring with respect to this line. phi we have written with respect to this. Similarly, the same phi we have copied from this place to this place. Now we have defined one more angle, which is LV. LV is not shown in the figure. Sorry, the LV we have shown this as the LE plus theta. LV is LE plus theta. This is the total angle. LV we have shown here in this place. Then the phi v we are showing as psi plus LE minus LH plus theta, which is the angle here from this place to this place. Psi plus this psi plus LE minus LH. This is the angle here. This particular angle, which is shown in the black. Phi plus LE minus LH and plus theta. Theta is the angle here in this place. So theta angle is this one. From here to here, this is your theta angle. This is the alternate angle, and therefore this is psi plus LE minus LH, and this is plus theta. So these three are accounted, and then beta plus beta. So beta is this just half angle from this place to this place. So how much it makes? So this is the velocity direction of the, or say this is heliocentric velocity direction. This one, the black line shown here, over which the cursor is moving. So the whole angle then becomes, with respect to this line, that you are measuring everything. This angle plus this angle. So the line joining the sun to the vehicle, and from there how much the velocity angle is making. So this is theta plus psi plus LE minus LH plus beta. So this is the angle here, which we have written as phi v. The notation is consistent. As for the phi, we have chosen the notation. The same notation is used here.
Sir, just one doubt.
Hmm.
Sir, so here you have taken beta as the angle between resultant velocity and v infinity.
Yes, right.
But then, like, how can we say that the resultant velocity vector will bisect, like, the...
No, this is what I told. This total angle you take as gamma. We have done already. We have done it here. You don't
Okay.
write this as this. We are here. We have. If both are equal in magnitude, it will bisect. Otherwise, not.
Okay. So beta is that 2 beta equal to gamma is no longer true, right?
No, this is not true.
Okay.
This is
Okay,
not
sir.
correct. So therefore, I have removed this. Just now, I removed this 2 here, factor 2 here. So 2 beta, instead of writing here 2 beta, we should write simply this as the gamma.
Okay, sir.
This part will be, this is simply gamma. Okay, so this gives you the complete idea about what are the angles available. So if you know the LE, the longitude of the Earth, the rest of the things can be worked out very easily. It's not difficult. Only thing the JPL program will require to know, and one more thing is required here, the phi. Phi will be available from the JPL program. Rest other things you have to plan. Once you are working out, you are doing the programming, where you have to launch the satellite, and already here it's shown that on the sphere of influence. Go to the next page. On the sphere of influence, if this is the v Earth direction, velocity of the Earth, and your satellite you may always try to do it such that v infinity remains parallel to v. It can be always, it's always possible. Okay, you program it in a way such that your perigee, let us say your hyperbolic orbit, it cuts like this if the perigee is here. So velocity infinity will be here in this direction. But if we shift the perigee here in this place, okay, so velocity direction may look like this. So here in this case, this becomes V infinity and this is V. So V infinity and V, both of them will add up. So this planning is always possible with meticulous programming and also um, proper bookkeeping. So this gives you a complete process how the satellite is launch is designed and then it's sent to the other planet. So for the Mars mission, this is exactly the thing which is required. Now finally, I wound up quickly one particular part. Just I will take few minutes to give me time. So once all these parameters are available, so everything else can be calculated, and so we'll discuss that next time. Just little bit of thing that is capturing. Okay, it won't be possible. Capturing we will leave. One more point I want to discuss is the gravitational slingshot, or what you say, the planetary flyby. So quickly we can do it without. Do you have class after this? If you don't have any class, then just in 5 minutes I will be winding it up. This part I will do.
Okay, sir.
Flyby or gravitational slingshot. Gravitational gravitational slingshot. So in this, what is done? Let us say that you are sending your satellite to some outer planet, and suppose this is the Mars, and Mars velocity is shown here in this place. So your satellite is entering the sphere of influence of Mars here in this place. So this is your V infinity. So this velocity becomes with respect to the Mars, and this is your Vm, Mars velocity.
Sir, it's overlapping with the previous diagram.
Okay, this is the V Mars, and Mars is here. A planetary flyby can be done about the Mars. So your trajectory is entering here in this place. So this is the velocity vector with respect to Mars. So this becomes V infinity. This is V infinity. V Mars is here in this place. So that means your actual velocity, it must be here in this direction. So this is your heliocentric velocity. So V infinity plus V Mars, this gives you the heliocentric velocity. Because of the conservation of energy, again V infinity will be available here in this place. So V infinity is here, and the V Mars here is in the same magnitude if we take V Mars. So the resultant is now here, this is V2. So this is the heliocentric velocity. So you can see that the heliocentric velocity is here shorter in magnitude, here it becomes larger in magnitude. So this is called gravitational slingshot, means you are giving more velocity. So this is the rear side entry. Rear side entry to Mars sphere of influence, or rear side entry to the Mars. So once it's entering like this, the velocity is increasing, so it can go to some other planet. So there has been mission like perhaps it was the Cassini mission, in which the satellite was first sent to the Venus, okay, its inner orbit, and there it took 2 turns to the Venus, and then again fly by through Earth, and then it went to the Pluto and some other for the outer solar system. It was planned. So by doing this, the heliocentric velocity can be increased. So this is called the planetary flyby. So this is from the rear side. If you do from the front side, so the heliocentric velocity will get reduced. So this implies that the heliocentric velocity can be increased or reduced by giving a planetary flyby. Okay, here in this case, this is the Mars. So we show it here, the Mars. Entry with respect to this sphere is getting done V infinity here in this place. So this is V1. So it enters here and it passes on the other side. So here you have again V infinity and V Mars is same magnitude we take here. So this becomes your V2. So you can see that V1 and V2 is smaller here and V1 is larger here. So that means you have retarded the heliocentric velocity of the satellite. So using this, you can either retard or accelerate the velocity in the heliocentric orbit, provided you plan properly. So if everything is pre-calculated, pre-planned, then it's possible that you can send without spending your propellant. You can not only change the orbit of the satellite, but also you can enhance its velocity. So we stop here, and the rest of the things we will take up in the next class. And please respond to the